The nights are getting colder, the leaves start to turn, fall is finally here. All of your preparation leads to these moments. It is soon to be opening weekend for the Wisconsin bow season of 2020. But before we can get to whitetail season, Garrett and Jason take us into the woods for a special look at their bear season.
It's a four-corner spot. Nice. So it's about a 15-year-old clear cut, about a 30-year-old clear cut, a 1-year-old clear cut, and a pine plantation. Right now we got about 11 different bears hitting this bait. No giants really. The one that we're after is going to hit right around 250 pounds. So not a monster, respectable bear, but he's super consistent. First bear in every single night, and he's been there every single day for the past 2 weeks.
So that's what we're hoping for. Right now it's unconditionally cold weather for this time of year. September 9th, we got temperatures at 42 degrees and raining, as you can see. Not real favorable weather patterns. So as long as that rain quits, that bear should be pretty much ready to rock and roll right afterwards.
After setting up and sitting through the miserable rain, no bear shows on the night of September 9th. The following day, Jason takes a solo mission and sits back over the same bait.
Alright guys, back in the tree again. September 10th. A little bit warmer today. It's about 58 degrees or so. No luck last night. The bear probably, he must have known we were in here because he's been super consistent, but last night just didn't show. Hoping things change. I checked the camera before I got up in the stand today, and he was actually out in the bait at 1 o'clock, so that was a few hours ago. So a lot of times when he does that, he'll come swing back in the afternoon or evening and hopefully hit it again. So we'll keep you posted. Hope for some better luck tonight. Happened so fast I didn't even have time to turn the GoPro on. He popped up here, and it was done. He had me pinned down instantly. He knew exactly where I was sitting. Knew exactly where I was. I center punched him, middle. He went off, and he was over there thrashing. I haven't heard the death knell yet, but he's done. When I shot, I saw the blood just pumping out of him. Just like that. No warning at all. Not a single warning. We'll be back soon. Should be fun. Where the heck is he going? I knew I heard him. Just going ape shit in the brush. There he is. No wonder I lost him. Here it is. 2020 Wisconsin bear season is a wrap. Not the biggest bear in the woods, but it's a respectable little bear. Happy. Turned out to be a little bit harder than we were hoping. Kind of like always, you get on some bear and they're so predictable, but they're able to figure out where you are, even if you don't try to tip them off. And so last night we had
no luck. No luck whatsoever. And so today I figured, I'd come back, same spot, just try to see what we could make happen. Not the one we're after. The one we're after was a little bit bigger than this, but I couldn't be happier. Now it's time to go do some deer shooting.
With Jason finding success on a very respectable black bear, all attention turns to the deer woods. It is finally time for the 2020 bow season opener. A very rainy morning on September 12th keeps most hunters in their bed. As the weather passes, the excitement climbs. We all head to the woods for the opening evening. Jordan heads to a pine tree stand we had just put up a few weeks earlier. All the deer that he sees come out into the field are 300 yards away on the other property. 20 miles away, Marilyn and I head to the private 13. We sit in a pine tree stand as well. We see no deer on the opening evening sit. All that excitement, anticipation, with no payoff on September 12th. September 13th proves to be a much different day. Jordan heads to a box blind that we built this year on the edge of a bean field. His morning takes a step in the right direction.
We're sitting in the same setup we set yesterday morning. I saw one of my headless bucks. Still fighting with this camera. I was having some trouble putting the arm on this box stand here in the dark. But I had a nice buck come behind me here in the beans on the trail that I walk out on. I thought maybe he heard me move in. I was trying to turn around in the stand here. He ducked back into the ravine that's just to the east of me here. But it wasn't a minute later he came back out into the hayfield over here. That's to my east. I had him dead to rights at 15 yards. He's a buck that showed up a little later. I'm gonna call him a 10 point, but he's got broken off G4s on both sides. He's definitely got some potential. I let him go. He could have been dead if I wanted him. Got some great video. But I'm learning right now because that buck took the same path that I saw another buck, two bucks yesterday take. So I know they're coming from these beans, this bedding in the ravine right here to my southeast. And we got about probably a good 30 acres of good bedding for all these deer straight to my north. So we're getting that pattern down on these deer. So it's gonna be a good spot.
Our morning on the private 13 did not start nearly as well. We had to delay our entry into the woods because the cell cam had sent a picture of a buck not far from where we need to walk in. In hopes on preventing spooking that deer off the property, we delay our entry by about 20 minutes. Getting into the stand a little late may not be a problem sometimes, but today it was. After sitting in the stand that opening morning, we realized if a deer was trying to walk by, we need to give it a reason to stop. Since neither of us will be hunting the evening, disturbing the woods a little bit to make an adjustment seems like the right idea.
Oh, I should have brought a normal shovel. This is probably a bad idea. My arms are tired. So like I said, preparation is continuous, and what we've realized after hunting that stand is the limited amount of time we'd have if a deer came by through here. So I'm putting on a mock scrape. It's not too late in the season. We got plenty of time left. The deer aren't even really concerned with it yet. So I'm gonna get a mock scrape, putting around, pull an oak branch off. We're gonna put it in this hole that I've put in the board here, screw it in there, and then we'll dig up the ground a little bit right here to get those deer to stop. And then also we got our cell cam right there. Should be taking pictures of us right now. Should be good. Let's get this pole in the ground and get everything set up so we can get out of here as quickly as we can, because it is hunting season. We don't want to be scaring deer off these days.
September deer are easy to pattern. Bucks are still in bachelor groups. Some may still even have velvet. These deer are quite predictable. And with the prediction of Jordan's target buck stepping out in the bean field, I decide to not grab my bow, instead grab a camera and follow him into the tripod stand that sits in the corner of a bean field. These beans are the greenest beans in the county from what I can tell, and that makes them a very attractive target for all the deer on this property. So this is where we decide to sit for the final evening of opening weekend. Good evening, everybody. We have pretty much no hopes for this evening out here in the tripod stand. We're overlooking the greenest beans in the county, but it got really warm today. After a week of being highs in the 60s, it was like 73 today, and it felt like it.
Neighbors over there cutting the hayfield. We're not gonna see a damn thing. It's hot as shit.
Tonight's gonna be the night now, watch. It's gonna be popping. But zero expectations, so if we see one deer, I'm gonna be satisfied. Worst case scenario, that field behind us, if we see the one shooter back there, there's a freaking deer. It's a buck, too. Well, look at that, we're wrong. So like I was saying before, we were rudely interrupted by that buck. We're not gonna see anything tonight. That was well worth it. We got some really good footage of that buck. The crazy part about out here is we can't tell which 8-pointer is which. There's like 4 or 5 of them out here that are damn near identical. And we have a 10 and an 8 that are shooters, so hopefully one of them shows up. 2 10s, 2 10s, 2 10s, 2 10s. Sorry, Mr. Bucks everywhere. One has the broken. I forgot you never make a mistake. Oh yeah, the one has the broken cheek. Yeah. The one he passed on this morning, right? That's a big buck. But it's early. It's the as we painstakingly play the video over and over again. Our hearts are in our stomachs. It's the worst feeling in the world to make a bad shot on an animal. I'd be a liar if I said I haven't done this exact thing before. I know the feeling of just target practice. You get a little hitch, and your arrow releases. Quite literally one of the worst feelings in the world. Now we play that scenario with your target buck firmly within range. Thankfully, this story has a happy ending. With the amount of blood that is initially found where the hit happened, we are hopeful that we hit the artery in the back leg. After 3 hours of the most painstaking climbing, crawling, over and under logs, trees, all of the storm damage that still exists, we hear the words that every hunter loves to hear. There we go.
I don't have any.
Congratulations.
I'm just happy he's dead.
What is it, second biggest buck on the camera, we think?
Yeah, I think so. I think the 10-pointer this morning might have been bigger,
It's possible.
honestly. But he had broken G2s and broken G4 on the right side, so. But we got it done.
All right, after this deer.
It's incredibly difficult to feel the pride and happiness that you should feel walking up on your target buck being down, when you have just been put through a roller coaster of emotions. But no matter how this story ended, the pain was going to be felt from that mistake for a long time to come. But like I said at the beginning of the Debrief series this year, we learned a lot of lessons. This is just one of them. And at this point, we had no idea what the rest of the season had in store for us. Many more lessons along the lines of this one will be learned this year. But here in the Debrief series, we're going to take it one weekend at a time. And we have a lot of hunting ahead of us. The next few weeks, close calls are the name of the game. And that's all coming in the next episode of the Debrief.